Hey, I'm Mason Hunter, and welcome to Would You Survive? Today, I'm going to put you right in the center of the deadliest natural disaster in United States history, and force you to make decisions that killed thousands of people. Decisions made in seconds, under extreme panic, with incomplete information. We're talking about Galveston, Texas, September 8th, 1900. 8,000 people killed in a single night. Pause 1 second. Think about that. Not over weeks, not across multiple locations. One island, one night, 1 out of every 5 residents just died. And here's the question that's going to haunt you for the next 25 minutes. Would you have survived? Because I'm going to show you 6 moments where the right choice kept you alive and the wrong choice killed you. And you'll have 10 seconds to decide on each one, exactly like the real people had. Galveston was the richest city in the American South. Richer than Houston, richer than Dallas. The world's largest cotton port, massive Victorian mansions, business district called the Wall Street of the Southwest. 38,000 people living on this 30-mile-long island. But there was one problem nobody took seriously. The island's highest elevation, 8.7 feet above sea level. That's less than the height of a door. And in 24 hours, a 15-foot wall of water is going to sweep over this entire island. Let's begin. Before we get to the decisions, you need to meet one man, Isaac Cline, 39 years old, chief of the Galveston Weather Bureau station. Smart, respected, and dangerously confident. 8 years before this storm, Isaac wrote an article in the newspaper guaranteeing that a hurricane could never destroy Galveston. He used science, he used data, and he was completely, fatally wrong. His exact words, "It is an absurd delusion." Isaac has a wife, Cora. She's pregnant. Today, September 8th, is the last day Isaac will see her alive. And the brutal irony? She's gonna die because he was too confident. Her body won't be found until a month later, buried beneath the wreckage. But Isaac isn't completely blind. Throughout the week, he's received telegrams from Washington. A hurricane crossed Cuba. But here's the problem. Ships at sea have no way to send weather observations to shore. There's no ship-to-shore communication in 1900, so nobody knows the hurricane changed direction. Nobody knows it's intensifying. And here's the part that's gonna kill thousands. The Central Bureau in Washington blocked information from Cuban meteorologists, guys who have decades of experience tracking Caribbean hurricanes, guys who are screaming that the storm is heading for Texas. Washington ignores Cuba. Politics prevails over science, and 8,000 people are gonna pay the price. Morning of September 8th. The people of Galveston wake up and walk to the beach, not in fear, in curiosity. The waves are bigger than normal. Entire families in Victorian bathing suits play in the growing surf. Children laugh, parents take photographs. They don't know they're looking at a storm surge, a 15-foot wall of water that's gonna sweep over the city in just hours. Noon. Isaac finally notices something's wrong. The waves aren't normal. The water movement is strange. The barometer's dropping too fast. He knows what this means. And for the first time in his career, Isaac Cline is scared. Isaac does something he technically shouldn't do without permission from Washington. He raises hurricane warning flags on top of the Bureau building. Then he does something more. He harnesses his horse to a cart and drives the entire beach, end to end, personally warning the 6,000 people on the waterfront. Extreme danger. Get to higher ground. Some listen, most ignore, because that's how the human brain works. We call it normalcy bias. When confronted with extreme, unprecedented danger, our brains literally refuse to believe it's happening. It's always been fine before. It'll be fine now. Except it won't. 3 p.m. Water starts flooding the streets. This isn't rain, it's the tide. And it doesn't stop rising. 3:30, water at your ankles. 4 p.m., water at your knees. 4:30, water at your waist. People finally start to panic, but it's too late to evacuate. Isaac races home. He lives in a large, solid, well-built house just a few blocks from the beach. When he arrives, there are over 50 people sheltering there. Neighbors, strangers, entire families, including his wife Cora and his 3 daughters. Everyone makes the same bet. Large, solid houses will hold. They're wrong. In just hours, this house is gonna collapse, and Cora's gonna die. Now you're in Galveston, 5 p.m. Water's waist deep inside your house. Your furniture's floating. Your kids are terrified. You have a 2-story house, and you have a decision to make right now. A decision that will determine whether you live or die. Your first decision point is coming, and I need you to understand something. This isn't a game. These statistics are real. These choices killed real people, and you're about to find out if you would have been one of them. Okay, pay attention. It's 5 p.m. Winds hitting 100 miles per hour and climbing. Water's already waist deep inside your house. You've got maybe 30 minutes before the next surge hits. You have a 2-story house, family on the ground floor with you, and you have 3 options. Option A, stay on the ground floor. Easier to escape if you need to, you're close to doors and windows. Option B, go to the 2nd floor now. Higher ground, away from the water. Option C, climb to the roof immediately, the highest point possible. What do you do? The science says this. Option A, ground floor, 72% mortality. You got trapped by rising water, crushed by debris. Option B, 2nd floor, 48% mortality. Better than ground level, but most houses collapsed completely. Option C, roof, 23% mortality. Highest survival rate, though dangerous if the structure fails. Here's why. The storm surge doesn't stop rising. By 7 p.m., the water's gonna be at 15 feet. 1-story houses get completely submerged. 2-story houses will have water to the 2nd floor. If you stayed on the ground floor, you got nowhere to go. The water surrounds you, traps you, and then debris crushes you. 2nd floor buys you time, but not safety, because most wooden houses can't handle the lateral force of moving water. And Isaac Cline's house? It collapses at 8:16 p.m. Over 50 people were inside. Isaac, his brother Joseph, and his 3 daughters survive by clinging to floating debris. His wife Cora disappears into the water. Her body won't be found until October 3rd, a month later, buried beneath the wreckage. So choosing the roof was the best choice. But there was one fatal problem nobody in 1900 understood yet. So, you chose the roof. Good choice. But here's what people in 1900 didn't understand. The danger wasn't the water rising. It was the water moving. Most people thought the risk was drowning, being submerged. They were wrong. The real killer? The horizontal force of moving water. When 15 feet of water moving at 25 miles per hour hits a house, the lateral pressure is equivalent to being struck by a freight train. It doesn't matter how solid your house is. Physics doesn't negotiate. The beams snap. The foundations shift. Entire houses are torn from their foundations and swept away like matchboxes. And here's the brutal part. When your house collapses, you don't die from drowning. You die crushed between debris while drowning. Surviving witnesses described seeing entire houses, with families inside, being hurled against other houses like giant battering rams. One house destroys the next, which destroys the next, which destroys the next. A domino effect of death, built by physics and water. 7 p.m. The peak of the storm is arriving. Water's now at 12 feet and climbing. Winds at 145 miles per hour. You're on the roof of your wooden house, and you start to hear a sound. A creaking. Slow at first, then louder. The beams of your house are starting to give under the pressure. You've got maybe 5 minutes before your house collapses completely. You see 3 options. First, there's a solid brick building 2 blocks away, bank across the street. But you have to climb down from the roof, cross 12 feet of water with violent current, and get there before your house falls. Second option, your attic. Smaller space, more protected from flying debris. Third, stay on the roof and have faith your house holds. The house is creaking louder now. You feel it moving under your feet. Your kids are with you on the roof, terrified. You have to decide now. Decision point number 2. Decision point number 2. Your house is about to collapse. You have 3 choices. Option A, try to reach the brick bank, 2 blocks through 12 feet of water with violent current. Solid building, concrete foundation, high chance of survival if you can get there. Option B, go down to the attic now. Confined space, more protected from flying debris, still inside your house structure. Option C, stay on the roof, your current position. Have faith, the house holds. The house is moving. You hear wood splintering. Your kids are looking at you, waiting for you to make the right call. What do you do? Here are the real numbers. Option A, run to the brick building. 44% mortality. If you could make it there, excellent survival odds. But many people drowned trying to cross. Option C, stay on the roof. 67% mortality. Most wooden houses collapsed completely, but some roofs floated like rafts. And option B, the attic, 89% mortality. The attic was a death trap. It seemed like the safest choice. Confined space, protected from debris. But here's what happened. When your house collapses, the attic goes underwater instantly. You're trapped in an enclosed space, no exit. The water rises. You've got maybe 30 seconds before the air runs out. And then you drown, in the dark, trapped in a box that used to be your home. At this exact moment, 8:16 p.m., Isaac Cline's house collapses. He and his brother Joseph are on the roof with his 3 daughters. They have seconds to grab anything that floats. Isaac grabs a piece of wreckage, Joseph grabs another. The 3 girls cling to the boards. They float on debris for hours. Cora, Isaac's wife, she was inside the house when it fell. So the right choice was option A, run for the brick building. Hard, dangerous, but the best odds. If you couldn't do that, the roof was your second best bet. The attic, never. Hundreds of people made that choice, thinking they were protecting themselves, and they died trapped. But surviving your house collapsing doesn't mean you're safe. Now you're in the water, in the dark, with debris everywhere, and you have more decisions to make. You're in the water now, total darkness, rain hammering your face. You're clinging to a piece of wood that used to be part of your house. The water's at 75 degrees Fahrenheit. That sounds warm, right? It's not. At that temperature, hypothermia will kill you in 6 hours. You've got debris floating everywhere. Nails, broken glass, sharp metal pieces. One wrong hit and you're bleeding in the water. And you start to hear something that's gonna haunt you for the rest of your life. 30 feet from you, you see someone. A man. He's drowning. No debris near him. He's struggling, swallowing water. You could swim to him, give him a piece of your debris, maybe save him. But you've got your wife clinging to your wreckage, your 2 kids, and the debris you've got barely holds the 4 of you. If you add more weight, everyone goes under. Decision point number 3. Option A, try to save the stranger. Risk your family for someone you don't know. Option B, throw him a piece of debris if he's close enough. Doesn't guarantee anything, but you tried. Option C, protect your family. Make the brutal choice not to risk the people you love. You have 10 seconds, and there is no right answer. There are no statistics for this one. Survivors reported all 3 types of decisions. Some tried to help and lost their families. Some threw debris and then heard silence. Some turned away and carried that guilt for the rest of their lives. That night, Galveston forced thousands of people to choose between humanity and survival. And nobody slept well after. 10 p.m. You've been in the water for 2 hours. Hypothermia is starting. Your fingers are numb. You're shivering uncontrollably. That's good. Means your body's still fighting. 2 a.m., the shivering stops. That's bad. That means your body's giving up. You start to feel warm. It's called paradoxical undressing. Your brain, freezing, is telling you you're hot. People take off clothes and die minutes later. You have to fight that instinct. 3 a.m., you see bigger debris 50 feet away. Looks more stable, more room. Decision point 4. Option A, swim there, risking worse hypothermia. Option B, wait it out and trust your current debris. Option C, tie debris together to make a bigger raft. The answer? Option C. Survivors who tied debris together had 34% better survival odds. Bigger rafts float better, conserve body heat, keep people out of the water. Swimming? 71% died from hypothermia. Waiting? 52% died when their debris sank or broke apart. 6 a.m. You survived. You've been alive in the debris for 10 hours. The storm has passed. The sun is rising. And for the first time, you can see what happened. Galveston doesn't exist anymore. Not as a city. It's a 30-mile debris field. Where there used to be 3,600 houses, now there's broken wood and bodies. Lots of bodies. 8,000 people died. 1 out of every 5 people on this island. More than the Titanic. More than 9/11. More than Katrina. 5 times more than Katrina. And now, Galveston has a problem no American city has ever faced. 8,000 decomposing bodies under the September Texas sun. There's no way to bury them all. No time. Temperatures at 90 degrees. In 2 days, disease will kill more people than the storm. Authorities make the only possible decision: mass cremation. Funeral pyres along the beach. The fires burn for weeks. But first, they need to collect the bodies. Decision point 5. An official knocks on your door. We need men to collect bodies. You'll be paid in food and water. Volunteer and serve the community, or stay with your traumatized family. Most volunteered. Building community was survival. And decision point 6, 1902, 3 years later. The city requires you to raise your house to the new grade level. Been a cost a fortune. Or you can sell and move to Houston. 51% moved, 42% stayed. Those who stayed rebuilt Galveston stronger. And Isaac Cline, he never remarried, carried the guilt of Cora's death for the rest of his life. But he transformed that guilt into mission, became one of the nation's leading hurricane experts, developed early warning systems, predicted future storms accurately, saving thousands of lives. In 1927, he published Tropical Cyclones, fundamental texts still used today. The man who said hurricanes couldn't destroy Galveston became the man who taught America how to survive them. So, after all of that, after 6 decision points, after knowing the science, after seeing the statistics, I have to ask you one last time, would you have survived? So let's review. 6 decision points. Decision point 1. You chose the roof over ground or second floor. 23% mortality versus 72 and 48. Good choice. Decision point 2. You ran for the brick building instead of the attic. 44% versus 89. You avoided the death trap. Decision point 3. The moral dilemma. No right answer. Decision point 4. You tied debris together. Increased your odds by 34%. Decision point 5. You volunteered to help the community. Decision point 6. You decided to stay or leave. So, the answer is maybe. If you made the right decisions at the right moments, you had roughly a 35 to 40% chance of survival. That's not a guarantee. That's not luck. Those are odds. And that night, with the right choices based on science, not instinct, you multiply your chances of seeing dawn. Lots of smart people died. Lots of lucky people died. But the people who understood the physics, who fought their instincts, who made the hard choices, They had the best odds. Would you have survived? Depends on whether you made the choices I just showed you. And here are the 5 lessons from Galveston that can save your life in any disaster. 1. Trust science, not instinct. Your brain will betray you in extreme situations. 2. Height plus structure beats comfort. Solid buildings on high ground beat cozy houses in low areas. 3. Never trap yourself. Always have an escape route. The attic was a trap. Don't get trapped. 4. Lateral force kills. Moving water, wind, debris. The horizontal force is the real danger. 5. Community is survival. The people who helped others, who worked together, had better odds. And Galveston's legacy. It saved millions of lives. Because of that storm, America built the hurricane warning system we have today. Because of Isaac Cline, we have modern weather forecasting. Because of the 8,000 who died, building codes were rewritten. Evacuation systems were created. Their sacrifice wasn't in vain. Every time a hurricane approaches the coast today and people evacuate with 48 hours notice, that's Galveston's legacy. Every seawall protecting a coastal city, Galveston was the first. Tragedy teaches, and Galveston taught America how to survive. So, if you made it this far, I need to know, which decision point was the hardest for you? Drop it in the comments. And if you want to see more episodes of Would You Survive, hit that subscribe button. Because the next one, San Francisco, 1906. The deadliest earthquake in American history. The entire city on fire. And the decisions are gonna be even worse. I'm Mason Hunter. Thanks for watching. And remember, when disaster strikes, you don't have time to think. You only have time para a gear. So learn now, while you can. Would you survive? Find out in the next episode.